We are live.
All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Welcome to the February public meeting of the City of Roanoke Architectural Review Board. This meeting is being broadcast live via YouTube. Please make sure that sound on all electronic devices is turned off during the meeting. The board has adopted the use of a consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be complete and thorough by the members of the Architectural Review Board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of the items. Discussion is desired. The consent item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Once the consent agenda is approved, the consent agenda applicants may leave if so desired. Each application on the regular agenda will be heard separately and in the order in which it appears. If you have registered to speak on a particular matter and the public comment portion of the application has started, please wait to be recognized in turn. Please state your name and residential address so that the board secretary may record the proceedings accurately. Would you please call the roll?
Thank you. Ms. Strong?
Here.
Mr. Feather?
Here.
Ms. Johnson? Here. Ms. Cronin? Here. Mr. Mason?
Here.
And Mr. Cutley?
Here, and we have a quorum, and we'll move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda approval of the February 12, 2026 agenda, December 11, 2025 minutes, and administrative approvals. Move to approve that.
Second.
Ms. Clark, if you please call the roll.
Ms. Strong?
Aye.
Mr. Feather?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Cronin?
Yes.
Mr. Mason?
Yes.
Mr. Cutley?
Yes, and the consent agenda is approved. And we'll move on to unfinished business. There is none, so that will move into our first order of new business, which is 215 Highland Avenue Southwest, tax map number 1021606, request from Jim Pickens for trustees of Second Presbyterian Church of Roanoke to install a new shade canopy. And I'll just say that I'm going to recuse myself. I'm a member of the church and I don't think there's a conflict. It's just out of an abundance of caution. I'm going to recuse myself and I'm going to ask Mr. Long to take over from here if you would. You need the guide sheet? Sure. It's very helpful tool.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kevin. Are you going to stay on the table or you?
My attorney advised that I can sit at the podium, but I'm going to go to the audience because that.
Is the applicant present? Please come to the podium and state your name and residential address so the secretary of the board can report the matter.
Good evening. My name is Jim Pickens. I'm serving as an agent for the trustees of Second Presbyterian Church. My personal address is 3533 Wellington Drive Southeast in Roanoke.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions at this time for the applicant? Would you want to explain your project?
If I could, it might help.
Yeah,
And
that would be totally nice.
Questions.
Start with.
We have a preschool at our church that's been in existence for probably about 70 years. And it has an enrollment currently of anywhere from 85 to 100 students. And these are all preschool, pre-K students. As part of this activity at the church, we have infants from, I guess, 6 months up to a year, and then they go into other classes within the system. Our play yard, which is fronting on, you see the picture there, encompasses a playground for the older children and a tot lot. And the tot lot has its own fencing around within the fenced area of the church play yard. And this is so that we can control, if you will, the interaction of the younger kids and the older kids for their safety. It's the tot lot area that we want to cover. the orientation of this part of the church faces direct south. Even though we have a number of trees around, the tot lot area gets very warm in the summertime. And the idea of the shade structure is to provide protection for those infants who, some of them are not old enough yet to even be able to wear protective skin care. So it's been a wish, I guess, of the preschool committee and the preschool to get a shade structure over this particular area to protect the children as they play. I have a sample here. The sample that we provided is a scan of the actual shade material. And I'll be glad to pass that around and let you see it. We had proposed a dark green color, but Mrs. Gray had talked to me this morning about maybe going to some gray colors. And I think there's several here that might work well with the stone that is around the church pillars around the playground and be a little more acceptable. Also want to point out that in the wintertime, this shade structure, the actual material, shade material will be taken down with a quick connect system so that you will not see that during the winter. One of the advantages of the trees we have in our tree yard, in our play yard, is that that is going to help reduce any visibility in the summer months. We have street trees along the street, and then also we have several large trees within the play yard itself. So it kind of softens any visual impact that this shade structure might have. The shade structure itself is 10 feet from the ground or along the edges. And the reason for that is it's to preclude anybody from swinging on it. It also will allow more airflow underneath the structure in the summertime. And then also the support structure, we chose if you can picture a goalpost that's turned down like this and supported in the middle. That's the actual structure of this shade structure. And it's cantilevered because we could not put 4 or even 2 supports in there due to the fact that we had constraints of existing sidewalks and other things. Our play yard is cram-packed with everything. Every square foot of the play yard is used every day. And this is for a safety reason. The support post is behind the tot lot area, and it's cantilevered over the area that it covers. I'd be glad to try to answer any questions.
Do the board members have any questions?
See the colors?
Sure.
As we review the colors, Ms. Gray, would you want to present it anymore or give staff recommendation to review of the project?
Staff would just make mention that the building site is unusual in our historic district in that they occupy the entirety of a block. And so all sides of the structure, are very visible from the street. But the area that we are talking about functions as what we would typically think of as a side or rear portion of the property and sits directly behind the original historic stone church building. That being said, it is an accessory structure. It is removed from the historic buildings itself. It is placed in such a way that you will still have visibility of the historic structures. And it generally is consistent with the H2 guidelines for an accessory structure. However, staff would recommend that the applicant update their application to be a color that would be more consistent with those existing historic structures, and one of the grays or taupe would be more appropriate.
Would you want to make a recommendation for one color? If you can. And while we discuss that, or fast track it a little bit, we certainly, as a board, get your application and the intended bit, and appreciate all the effort you all have put in doing a nice drawing and laying it out and putting it together for us, and we certainly definitely appreciate that. And one of the questions of the last meeting, which I raised, was, can the canvas come off in the off season, which you presented in your opening presentation. Certainly, that would make a big positive impact for me personally to the project. With that said, will the board members have any comments, suggestions, or feedback for the applicant?
So legit request and agreed, that you can take it off. Really does help because it won't sort of be a hassle in winter. So
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I see that it has the trees there that kind of hangs, if you can. That kind of, those trees, the previous slide. With the canopy be touching or bothering the trees in that area? I think it's the slide before that. Before that. It's like one of the ones, it's kind of like that one, and then there's another slide in there that shows it.
There are street trees and they're set back far enough from where the canopy is going to be, they will not touch. There is a redbud tree to the left, and it does not cover over the area where the tot lot is. And then behind that, it may be the way you see it, there's a very large golden rain tree that we were able to keep and provide shade for the other part of the playground area. So, but in the area immediately around where the canopy is going to go, there are no tree branches that are overhanging that area.
They would be hanging there, because you can't really tell now that it's what it's
Right,
got.
right. No, I made sure that, if they did, they would be pruned adequately. We come in and prune these trees to make sure the dead branches are out and low hanging branches and things like that.
And then, I know somebody just mentioned the topaz color. Which one was the topaz? Because I see where they have green canopies already.
Mhm.
And in the picture, it's like a topaz, kind of like beige color that's already in it.
So the two colors that were discussed are either the oyster gray or the barley brown.
Yeah.
And I took,
They're both good colors.
Yeah.
they're neutral colors and they won't show dirt. That's one of the things with these
Yes.
canopies, that air pollution and whatnot.
And also, they won't fade as harshly as the green might fade. So certainly, we definitely support the project, and I think, can't speak for every board member, but we certainly support the intent and the detail of the project. And it's a structure that can be removed if it has to be, and the functionality changes. So it's not a permanent structure, which helps with the guidelines up here, so definitely want to support it. There's no more comments from the board, are there any comments from the public? I don't see them.
Well, this is,
There is one comment from the public and they sent in a letter of support.
Oh, okay,
okay.
do you want to read that? That's great, or?
Sure, this is from, Mr. Helms. And he said, my wife Monica and I own a condo at number 928 Highland Avenue overlooking the Second Presbyterian Playground. We fully support the request of the Second Presbyterian to install the shade canopy. They are wonderful neighbors and an important part of the community in Old Southwest.
With that said, We'll close the public hearing and get into some board discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, we have any thoughts?
I think we want to ask the applicant to amend their application for the appropriate color as opposed to the green. You know, other than that, I support.
Does the applicant have to make that decision today, or can they do two colors and choose between two, or?
Staff would support, either color choice.
Maybe the thought could be to approve it with both color options and allow their board, their committee to make a decision on their own with that?
Sure, we can do that, yes.
Okay. Do we wanna make a motion to amend the application? If so, approved by the applicant.
Yes,
Do we have some wording for it?
So we can amend the application to update the color to either be oyster gray or barley brown.
We have a motion and second here.
To amend the application.
Second. We'll take the roll.
Mr. Hall,
Aye.
Mr. Feather,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Aye.
Ms. Cronin,
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Motion amended now, application amended. Now, do we want to take a motion to approve the application? Motion approved.
Second.
The amended application at 215 Hunt, Mr. Hall,
Aye.
Mr. Feather,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Aye.
Ms. Cronin,
Yes.
Mr. Mason.
Yes.
So the motion, the application is approved and you guys are good to go.
thank you very much.
You-
Good job. Excellent. Congratulations.
Back, so definitely. Yes.
Nicely done. You can pass the cheat sheet back.
Yes.
That's what I can do. Thank you very much, Mr. Long, and we'll move on to other business. The next order of business is the proposed nomination of the Fishburne Park Keeper's Cottage for recommendation to the National Register of Historic Places. And Ms. Graves, Ms. Clark has put this document, everyone hopefully has seen that, had a chance to look at it.
Yes.
We'll take a minute to review that, or, we wanna. Ready, we want this little debrief.
There is an existing structure that sits at the northwest corner of Fishburne Park that was sold, 1.1 acres was sold to a private party, and they have been going about the process of restoring the existing historic structure. It is a very unique structure, and it's one of the older ones within the valley. That is both a log structure and a timber frame structure. And so there are two portions of the structure which are log, and then one addition that was timber frame. And the original part of the structure probably dates back to about 1820. And they have a lot of unique characteristics of the existing structure that just make it an exemplary structure within the valley to be preserved. So the nomination that you have before you is to put it on the National Register and to list it on the Virginia Landmarks Register. as the architectural review board, so you and a certified local government, our board has the right to review these applications that come through and offer comment. Typically for something like this, the board would offer a letter of support.
That's great, thank you for the explanation there, and, is the use of the cottage gonna be commercial, is that the plan, or?
It is currently the plan.
And, I guess those, designations carry with them certain restrictions on what can be done and that kind of thing, but,
No, this is just honorary.
oh, is that right?
This is-
Oh, okay,
If they chose to do tax credits, now they qualify, then we have a consideration.
oh, okay.
But normally you should.
So as far as we know, they're not going for tax credits, so they can basically do whatever they want to.
Technically, yes. If they did, then it could possibly be taken off.
Interesting. Well, it's awful enough to do. Okay. Any further discussion of this matter?
Make a motion to approve the nomination.
Okay. We have a motion, a second to, I guess we're gonna, you have a letter,
A letter of support.
support, you've got the language all that you need, so we have a motion, a second for that, and Ms. Clark, you call the roll.
Sure. Mr. Long,
Aye.
Mr. Feather,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson, Ms. Kernan,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Keppel.
Yes, and the motion is passed, and write a letter of support, that's great. And then we get down to our next order of business, which is a very critical order of business, the election of officers, and I just want to say before I go, I hope I've kept my campaign promises to everybody, and Mr. Long will keep his as we hear him up. So for nomination, I'll nominate Mr. Hussein Alam as the Architectural Review Board Chairman, Stephen Feather, Architectural Review Board Vice Chairman, Catherine Gray, Acting Agent to the Architectural Review Board, and Emily Clark, Secretary to the Architectural Review Board. There's no discussion, I'll ask for a motion. So, okay, a motion and second. Ms. Clark, if you'll please take the vote.
Mr. Long,
Aye.
Mr. Feather,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson, Ms. Kernan,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
and Mr. Keppel.
Yes, and congratulations to everyone, and I'll just say it's been a pleasure to serve as the chairman over the past couple of years, it's gone by fast. And wish Mr. Long and Mr. Feather and our staff the best of luck, and look forward to serving a few years with everybody, so. Mr. Long, you want to take over and take us to the bridge?
Thank you for, Mr. Kepler, thank you for being the chair for 2 years, and thank you for your leadership, and you've done a lot, including the amendments to the bylaws and everything, so it's been a good couple of years, and I think things are moving, streamlining as well as they can. Look forward to having a couple of good years, and have some new board members, and welcome. Is there anything else we need to add to? If not, the meeting is adjourned. And thank you for your first meeting up here, so.
You got all right. What was,